Once upon a time, there was a king who had a very wise minister. This minister often said, "Whatever happens, happens for good." One day, while the king was cleaning his sword, the minister was sitting nearby. Suddenly, the sword slipped from the king's hand and fell on his foot, severing one of his toes. The minister, as usual, remarked, "Whatever happens, happens for good." The king was furious. He exclaimed, "My toe has been cut off, and you say it's for good? How can this possibly be good?" Enraged, the king ordered the minister to be imprisoned. Even as the guards led him away, the minister calmly repeated, "Whatever happens, happens for good." The king was puzzled by the minister's attitude, thinking, "How strange that he is going to jail, yet he still says this." 2 months passed after this incident. One day, the king went hunting with his soldiers. Riding deep into the dense forest, the king pursued a deer. However, he strayed too far and became separated from his men. Despite his efforts, he could not catch the deer, and soon realized that he was lost in the forest. As he wandered, searching for a way out, a group of tribal people suddenly surrounded him. These tribesmen did not recognize the king, as their tribe was outside the boundaries of the king's kingdom. They captured him and took him to their village. These tribesmen were looking for a human to sacrifice in order to appease their deity. The king pleaded for his life, but they did not understand his language. Instead, they began to prepare for the sacrifice, celebrating with drums and rituals. They bathed the king, dressed him in new clothes, adorned him with a garland of flowers, and made him ready for the sacrifice. Just as they were about to kill him, the tribe's leader noticed that one of the king's toes was missing. He immediately ordered the drums to stop and declared, "This man cannot be sacrificed because he is incomplete. If we sacrifice an incomplete person, our deity will be angered instead of pleased." With that, the tribesmen decided to release the king. The king, relieved, made his way back to the palace. As he reflected on his ordeal, he realized that if his toe had not been cut off, the tribesmen would have killed him. The minister had been right all along. Whatever happens, happens for good. The king immediately ordered the minister to be released from jail. He restored the minister to his position and asked, "Minister, I now understand that my injury was for my own good, but you were imprisoned for 2 months and had to endure so much suffering. How was that for good?" The minister smiled and replied, "My lord, as your prime minister, I would have accompanied you on that hunting trip. When the tribesmen saw your missing toe, they spared you. But since my body was complete, they would have certainly sacrificed me instead. Therefore, it was good that I was in jail that day. It not only saved your life, but also mine. That is why I always say whatever happens, happens for good." If we reflect on our lives, we often find moments where we feel that something bad is happening to us, something that should not have occurred. Yet, with time, when we look back, we realize that whatever happened was indeed for the best. We often judge events based on our limited understanding, but our intelligence is finite. We cannot fully grasp the fairness or unfairness of an event. The world operates on the principles of karma. Those who do good receive happiness, while those who do wrong face sorrow. So, if you are going through a difficult time, remember that your bad karma is being expended, and nature is guiding you toward progress. This world is not created by an enemy, so nothing truly wrong can happen. Remove the thought that anything bad can happen to you, and always remember, whatever happens, happens for good.